Hello everyone, I'm Frank and welcome to Frank Puzzles, and this is today's easy level puzzle. Now take the easiness with a grain of salt because it's considered easy by the people on the Logic Masters Germany forum, and there's a lot of really smart people there. Today's puzzle is called Heard No More 3 by the Bard, and here are the rules. Normal Sudoku rules apply. Place the digits 1 through 9 in each row, column, and box. German whispers. Digits next to each other along a green line must have a difference of at least 5. So for example, if this were 3, this would have to be an 8 or a 9 to basically maintain a difference of at least 5 with adjacent digits on a German whisper line. And all vertical and horizontal German whisper lines have been given. No diagonal lines. So there is a negative constraint for all the vertical and horizontal, specifically for all cells that are at least 5 apart horizontally or vertically. They have been given as a German whisper line. So that would mean the difference between these two cells is less than 5. That's specific. We know that because that's the negative constraint for this puzzle. Because all two cells that are adjacent to each other that have a difference of 5 are given. Difference of 5 or more are given. So remember that negative constraint. And those are all the rules. If you like to play along, there's going to be a link in the description. And now, I'm going to get started. Let's go. Okay. So for me, I like coloring in German whisper lines. But the negative constraint is very interesting, right? We know, well, On a German whisper line, you'll always alternate lows and highs. We also know German whisper lines cannot contain a 5, because 5 is 5 away from 0 or less, which is not a normal Sudoku digit, and it's 5 away from 10 or more, which are not digits, obviously. So where is the 5 in box 8? It can only be here. So this is a 5. Where is the 5 in box 4? It has to be one of these two, because it's eliminated here, and then it cannot be on the German whisper line. Where is the 5 in box 2? It's eliminated here and here by the two 5s here and this 5. Therefore, it can't be on the German whisper line. It must be here. So this is a 5. Where is the 5 in column 6 or 7? It has to be one of these two cells, but that's not that helpful. It also still has to be one of these two cells. Okay, so where can it be? Let's try to figure this out. So we're going to make these pink then. Where can they be in column 7? It could be only one of these two cells. Let's just not do the ones that we know. So it could be one of these two cells. What about column 8? Has to be one of these 3. Obviously, it's one of those two. In column 3, it could be any of these two or this one. In column 2, it cannot be here, so it could be here or here. Hmm. We're not given very much here then. That doesn't help us very much. I was hoping to find like an X-wing or a jellyfish or something along those lines pattern, but it doesn't look like it's there. Okay. Oh wait, it is there. In column 2, one of these two cells must be a 5. In column 3, one. No, okay, never mind. Never mind. That's 5 rows. Never mind. Okay. So that's not helpful. I thought I had a jellyfish, but I didn't. What do we have here? Where can the 4 be in box? Well, let's see where the 4 can be in box 2. Cannot be here because of this 4. Can't be here because this sees 2 unique digits on a German whisper line. Can't be here because it sees 2 unique digits on a German whisper line. Therefore, it's one of these 3, right? What about, so where can the 4 be actually in column 6? This sees 2 unique digits on a German whisper line, so that can't be 4. So 4 can only be next to 1 unique digit on a German whisper line, which is 9. This can't be. These can't be because they both see 2 unique digits on a German whisper line. Therefore, the 4 has to be one of these two in column 6. Um, that's all we know for that one, though. Where can 6 be, actually, in column 4? It can't be any of these 3, because that 6 eliminates that possibility. This sees 2 unique digits on a German whisper line, and similar to 4, 6 can only be next to 1 unique digit on a German whisper line, which is 1. So therefore, this can't be 6. This sees 2 unique digits. This sees two unique digits. Therefore, it has to be one of these two cells. So this is either a 6 or this is a 6. Well, what does that tell us? Not too much, unfortunately. Where is the 6 then? Where is the 6 in box 5? It can't be any of these cells because one of these two cells must be 6. Can't be any of these cells because of this 6. And it can't be this cell because it sees 2 unique digits on a German whisper line. So it must be one of these two cells, which means we know 5 and 6 both have to be in these two cells, which means this is a 5-6 pair. This is 4. Um, or it could be any of these. Hmm. Hmm. Do we have anything else? This negative constraint is very interesting because it's not very common. Um, um, hmm. I normally would color German whisper lines, but I'm not sure how useful that is right now because it doesn't look like we have much to differentiate the different sets on the different lines. Um, let's see. Well, we know all of these are 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, and 9, right? And these are 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, or 9. All of these are 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, or 9. Hmm. What are we missing here? Hmm. I'm pretty sure the key to this puzzle is the negative constraints. Um, but it's right now it's really hard to figure that out, right? So if this is 4, this has to be a 9. If this is 4, this has to be a 9. If this is 4, this has to be a 9. But that doesn't really help us much. Hmm. Hmm. Okay. Uh, hmm. 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 I'm actually not sure how to approach this. This is interesting. I mean, the fives are the obvious ones, to give you information. This can't be 1, because again, this would have to be a German whisper line going into there, if that's the 1, because of the negative constraint. This also cannot be 1, but that doesn't really tell us much information. It could be 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, or 9. Um, this is 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, 9. Uh, huh. Hmm. So obviously 9 cannot be one of these two cells here, because then there would have to be a German whisper line in these two cells, because 4 would be next to a 9. So this has to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8. So 9 is not one of these two. Um, hmm. Um, this can never be 1, because if this is 1, this would have to be 6, and that would be 1. So this can never be 1. It could be 2, 3, cannot be 4, it could be 6, 7, 8, 9. Um, hmm. Not sure what else we got. Hmm. This can't be a 4, but it could be a 6. This is next to two unique digits, so it's 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, 9. This is next to two unique digits, so it's 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, 9. This is next to two unique digits, so it's 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, 9. This is next to two unique digits, so it's 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, 9. Same here. Same here. Same here. That doesn't tell us very much. Um, hmm. Um, I'm sure I'm missing something from the negative constraints of the German whisper lines. I don't have a good intuition about that, unfortunately. Uh, hmm. 1 cannot be any of these, or sorry, 9 cannot be any of these three. So 9 has to be one of these 5, but it's 5 it could be, right? Hmm. 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 Uh, not sure. Uh, yeah, this negative constraint is throwing me for a loop quite a bit. Um, what if we start coloring these? I don't know if it'll give us anything. Pink, orange, and this is pink. Therefore, this remaining one is pink here. We have two of the same here. Therefore, these are opposites, but we're not sure which, right? These two are the same. We have one of each here. Sorry, these two have to be one each of a different set. Different high-low. This is two of the same. And we have a 4. Therefore, and this is a high. Therefore, these have to be opposite sets. But we don't know what those are. So we're going to make this green and yellow. Therefore, these are both yellow, because on a German whisper line, you'll always alternate between low digits and high digits, right? Because 1 through 4 can only be next to the digits 6 through 9, and the digits 6 through 9 have to be next to the digits 1 through 4. So therefore, this is yellow, this is green, this is green, and this is yellow. Oh, interesting. Hmm. Oh, okay. Yeah, I see it. This is high. We have a high here and a high here. This is 3 digits, right? Now, if the yellows were high, that would mean these two are high, this is a high, and we have 2 more highs here in box 8. But that makes 5 highs in box 8 if the yellow were high, which is not allowed because the highs can only be 4 digits, so 6 through 9. So therefore, the yellow specifically have to be the low digits, and the green digits must be high digits. So this must be 2 or 3. This can't be 1, 2, or 3. This is 7, 8, or 9. This has to be 6 through 9. But if this were 6, that would be next to a 2 or 3, which it cannot be. So this has to be 7, 8, or 9. This is 1, 2, or 3. So this is 2 or 3, which means this is a high. So this can't be 1, 2, or 3. This is 7, 8, 9. This is also 7, 8, 9. This has to be 1, 2, or 3. This is 1, 2, or 3. And this is 1, 2, or 3. Okay. Um, this could be 4. My bad. That could be 4. So this can never be 9. And it cannot be 8, because then there would be a German whisper line marked between these two cells. So if this is a high, it has to be 7. Ah, okay. That's how we figure it out. So if this were a high, and this were 7, this would have to be a 1 or a 2. This 7 would now have to be next to a 3, because otherwise there would be a German whisper line here, and this must be 8 or 9. So if this were 1 or 2, this would be next to an 8 or a 9, which would mean this would have to have a German whisper line connected to it. Therefore, this can never be high. So therefore, this has to be a low. All the oranges are low. and all the pinks are high. So this has to be high. This is 4 with a high, so this cannot be 1, 2, or 3. This is 4 with a high, so this is 7 or 8. This can't be 1, 2, or 3. This can't be 1, 2, or 3. This can't be 7, 8, and 9. This can't be 7, 8, and 9. This is a high, so this can never be 4. So this has to be 6, 7, 8, or 9. We have, where is the 4 going to be in column 4? It can't be any of these cells. Can't be this one because it can't be high. It can't be low anymore. Can't be here. Actually, we know this can't be 2 or 3 because we have a 1, 2, 3 triplet in column 4, which eliminates 1, 2, and 3 from the rest of the column. So therefore, this is a high also, which means this has to be a low to be next to it. Therefore, we know the 4 in column 4 has to be along one of these two cells. And 4 can only be next to a 9 on a German whisper line. So this is 4 and 9, which means we can eliminate 4 and 9 from the rest of the column because we have a 4-9 pair, and we can eliminate 4, 9 from the rest of box 8. So this can't be 9, this can't be 9, and this can't be 9. 3 can no longer be in between these two cells because, and this can't be 9, because if this were 9, this would have to have a German whisper line in between these two. So this has to be a 4, which makes this a 9. This can no longer be 4 or 9. This can't be 9, obviously. This is a low, and this has to be a high. So if this were a low, there would have to be a German whisper line in between there. If this were low, this would have to be a German line in between those two cells also. But there isn't, so therefore this has to be a high, and this has to be a high, because it cannot be 5. Therefore, this is 7 or 8. This has to be 2 or 3. If this were an 8, this could be either 2 or 3, and there would have to be a German whisper line in between there. So this cannot be 8. This has to be 7, which makes this an 8. These two cannot have a difference of 5, because there's no German whisper line between them. Therefore, this is a 3, this is a 2, and this has to be 1. So this can no longer be 7. This can't be 7 or 8. This must be a 9. This can't be 1, and this can't be 1. Therefore, this is a 1. This is a high digit. It cannot be 1 because we know that's a difference of 5 between here. So this can't be 1. This is 2 or 3. And again, this can't be 3 because if this were 3, it would have to be between a 7 or an 8 at maximum. And 3 can never be next to a 7. Therefore, this is a 2, which makes this a 3. Therefore, this must be an 8 because it's on a German whisper line. This can't be 8. This has to be a 7 because it's on next to a 2 on a German whisper line. So this is a 7. This has to be 6, which makes this a 1. So this can't be 1 anymore. This can't be 7. This can't be 3. This can't be 8. So this is 4 and 7. And this cannot be high because it's next to a 1, and there would have to be a German whisper line connecting them. Therefore, this is a 4, and this is a 7. So this is a low. This is a high. This cannot be 1 or 2. It cannot be 7. We have a 3, 8, 9 triplet here. But if this were 3, this would have to be an 8 or 9 next to it. So therefore, it would have to connect as a German whisper line if this were a 3. So this cannot be 3. This must be a high, which makes this a low, and this a low. So this has to be 3. This still could be, these are all lows then. So this is 1, 2, or 4. And this is 2 or 4. This could be 1 through 4. We're not sure which. Can't be 4 because this can't be, this eliminates a 4. And this can't be 4, so this must be a 2. Which means this cannot be 2. We know we have a 1, 4, 1, 4 pair here. This can't be 7. Now we have an 8, 9, 8, 9 pair and a 1, 2, 3 triplet in column 7. That means 1, 2, and 3, and 8 and 9 are eliminated from the rest of the column. So it can only have 4, 5, 6, or 7. This could only be 6 or 7. This could be 4, 5, 6, or 7, but this can't be 5. This can't be 4 or 6. And this can't be 4. Where is the 4 in column 7? It has to be here. So this is a 4. This can't be 4 or 6, so this must be 5 or 7. Now we have a 5, 7, 5, 7 pair in column 7, which eliminates 5 and 7 from the rest of the cells in the column. So therefore, this is a 6. This can't be 2, cannot be 2 or 7. This obviously can't be a low either. If this is a low, 1 or 3, that's 5 away from this cell, and there would have to be a German whisper line next to it, but obviously there isn't. So therefore, this cannot be low. This has to be high, which makes this a low and makes this a low also. This can't be 7. These can't be 1 because of this one. This can't be 8. This can't be 3. This cannot be a high, but it could be a 5, though. So this is 5 or a low. We're not sure which. Similarly, since this can't be a 5, we know this has to be a low, right? Because if it were 6 through 9, there would have to be a German whisper line connecting them. Therefore, this is a low. We know one of these two cells has to be a low, and one has to be high. And since one of them is low, that means we know the rest of the cells have to be high, because we have 4 lows already in these cells. So these two must be high. Oh, this is also low. Okay. Well, these must be both high. This cannot be a low, because if it were a low, it would be a 3, and it would be next to an 8 or 9. So, but it could be a 5 still. That doesn't help. This could, okay, yeah, there is, all the rest of the cells in row 1 have to be 5, 7, 8, and 9. Right? We have 2 lows. We have 2 lows in box 1. One of these is low, one of these is low. Therefore, we have 4 lows in these 6 cells in box 1. Therefore, this must be a 5 or higher. So this is 5, 6, 8, or 9. It cannot be 9 here, because if this were a 9, it would be next to a low, and 9 can be next to all the lows in, and there would have to be a German whisper line. So this cannot be 9. Do we have anything else? These are both high. This has to be 5 through 9. 5, 6, 8, 9. 8, 9, 5, 6, 8, 9. Yeah. This can't be high because we have a 7, 8, and 9 triplet. Okay, yeah, that helps. This has to be high. This is 8 and 9. This is 8 and 9. That eliminates 7, 8, and 9 from the rest of the cells in row 4. So this cannot be 7, 8, or 9. If it were a high, it would have to be 6, but 6 can only be next to 1 on a German whisper line, so this can't be 6. Therefore, this must be low, and this is a low, obviously. Therefore, this must be high. This must be high. This must be low because it's next to a low. Oops. This has to be high, which makes these 2 lows, and therefore this must be a high. So this is 2 and 3. This is obviously 2, 3, or 4. this is 3 or 4, and this is 2 or 4. This can't be 2 or 3. The rest of the cells have to be 5 through 9. And this can't be 5, 8, or 9, so this is 6 or 7. This digit must be between at least, at minimum, a 2 and a 3. 7 can never be next to a 3, therefore this is a 9. So there's no more 9s in this column. This cannot be 6, 7, or 8, because if it were, there would be a German whisper line between these two cells. Therefore, this must be a 5. So this can't be 5, and this can't be 5. This can't be 6, this can't be 8. Okay. This has to be 2, 3, or 4. This is 8 or 9. We have an 8, 9, 8, 9 pair in row 3, which eliminates 8 and 9 from the rest of the row. This cannot be 8, so therefore this is a 6. This cannot be 6, 8, or 9, so this must be a 5, which makes that a 7. This can't be 5 or 7, so this is 8 or 9. This can't be 7, so this is 5, 8, or 9. We now have a 5, 8, 9 triplet in box 1, which eliminates 5, 8, 9 from the rest of the cells in the box, so this can't be 8 or 9, it can't be 6, it must be 7. And this must be 6, 8, or 9. This has to be obviously 1, 2, or 3. And this is 1, 2, or 3. This is a high, so it's either 6 or 7. Either way, it cannot have a 3 there, because if this were 3, it's not 5 away from 6 or 7. Therefore, this has to be 1. This can no longer be 1. If this were a 2, that would be 5 away from 7 or 8, which this would have to be. Therefore, this cannot be a 2, and therefore this is a high. This is a high, and these two are lows. This is 1 or 2. This has to be 3 or 4, so this can never be 7, because if it were 7, it would be next to a 3 on the German whisper line, which it's not allowed to be, so this can't be 7. So we have an 8, 9, 8, 9 pair in column 2, which eliminates 8 and 9 from the rest of the column. Therefore, this is a 5, which means this can't be 5. This is 7, so if this were 2, it would have to have a German whisper line next to it, so this cannot be 2. But this has to be 5 away from the 7, so this must be a 2, which means this can't be 2. We now have a 3, 4, 3, 4 pair in column 3, which eliminates 3 and 4 from the rest of the column. Therefore, this must be a 2. It must be a 2. Where are the 1s and 2s in box 7? It cannot be here, and they cannot be here because of the 1 and 2s already in their rows and columns, respectively. Therefore, both 1 and 2 must be here. So this is 1 or 2 also. This is a low. We know there's a high here. There also has to be a low here. This can't be 5 anymore. Where is the 5 in row 8? It has to be here. So this is a 5. Where is the last remaining 5 in possible in box 6? Cannot be here. So therefore it must be here. So this is a 5, which means this can't be 5. Which means one of these is a 5. If either one of these were a 1, they would have to have a German whisper line with this, because we know this is a high. Actually, yeah, this is a high too. So this is a high, this is a high. None of these can be 9 again. So this can't be 9, because otherwise there would be a German whisper line drawn next to it. Therefore, this has to be an 8. This can't be 8 or 9, because again, there would be a German whisper line next to this. This has to be a 9, and it's high. This is obviously high. This can't be 8 or 9, so this must be a 6, which makes this a 9. The 6, if either of these were 1, they would have a German whisper line extending to here. So it can't be. This can't be 1. This can't be 2, which makes that a 3. This can't be 1 or 3, so this must be 2, which makes this a 1. So this cannot be 2. This can't be 3. This must be a 2. Okay. This is 5. This cannot be 3, so this is 4, which makes this a 3. This 4 means this has to be a 1, which makes this a 4. This 4 has to be next to a 9 on a German whisper line, so this is a 9. This is an 8, which makes that an 8. This cannot be a high on the German, what are the remaining cells in column 1? It has to be 4, 5, 6, and 8, right? This can't be 5. This can't be 5 or 6. This has to be 4, 7, or 8 in the remaining cells in row 6. This can't be 4, 8. Now we have a 5, 6, 5, 6 pair. This can't be 8. A 5, 6, 5, 6 pair in row 5, which eliminates 5 and 6 from the rest of the row. Therefore, this is a 7. And this has to be a 1 or 3. So this is a low. This can't be 8 because of the 8, 9 pair in box 6. So we also have, this has to be 4, 7 because it can't be a 1 or 3 because of the 1, 3 pair in box 6. This, the remaining, okay, so this can't be 7 because this is a 7. So we have, where is this? Okay, this can't be 7. This has to be 4, which makes this a 7. This 4 means this can't be 4, so this is 3. And this can't be 4, so this is 5 or 6. And this is 5 or 6. And this is a 4, 8 pair. The 5, 6 pair in column 1 means that you cannot have a 5 or 6 in the rest of the column. So this can't be 6. This is 4, 8. If this were an 8, it would have to have a German whisper line connected to this cell. So this cannot be an 8. This has to be a 4, which makes this an 8, and that's a 4. So therefore, these two are lows. This can't be 4 anymore. This must be a 3. So these are both low. This has to be a high. This is a 9. This has to be a high, and it has to be 6. Which means this can't be 1, otherwise there would be a German whisper line between them. So this must be a 2, which makes this a 1. This can't be 6, so this is 7, which makes that an 8. And the remaining digits here are 2 and 7. This can't be 7, so this is 2, which makes that 7. This is a low, this is a high, this is a high, this is a low. This can't be 9 because the 4 and the 9 would then have a German whisper line between them. So this is an 8, which makes this a 9. This can't be 1 because then there would be a German whisper line between these two cells. So this must be 3, this must be 1. This can't be 6 because otherwise then there would be a German whisper line between these two cells. So therefore this is 5, this is a 6, which makes that a 6, and that's a 5 by Sudoku. This can't be 9 anymore, so it must be 8. These two are both high. And this has to be a 6. So therefore this is a 9. This can't be, this can only be a 1. Because that's all that remains. These are both low, and therefore this is a 1, and this has to be a 3. And that's a solution. Yeah, sorry, it took me a while to basically figure this out. Actually, I should have just basically started coloring. because that did help out with certain things, right? Where we knew, particularly, it was finding box 8 and recognizing that these two had to be essentially lows. And this one had to be the opposite of that. So that helped a lot there. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this solve, and I'll see you next time on Frank Puzzles. Take care.